Hello, this is Old School from WhatTheBuck.net doing the Patriots review. This was the game that most people expected it to be. The Patriots kind of romped us 35-7 over in London at Wembley Stadium in front of a large sellout crowd. A crowd that actually showed they know a lot about American football. When I got a chance to watch the game again, not at the Wing House when I could actually hear the audio, the fans seemed very, very engaged. And that was good to see. I mean, I don't really have a vested interest in football overseas. I don't really care. But I think from an experience perspective, it's probably pretty cool for everybody involved. Except, of course, for my beloved Buccaneers who went out and got trounced yet again. So we're going to talk about a couple of things. Before the game, we talked about a couple of keys that the Bucs would have to do in order to be competitive with the Patriots. We saw that the Jets had gotten some effectiveness by pressuring Tom Brady, which is always easier said than done. We were incapable of getting any pressure on him to speak of. I think we ended up with one sack. I do feel there's a lot of holding going on in general, but when you're a bad team, those calls aren't going to come your way. We started getting them towards the end of the second quarter, but it was too little too late. There's momentum in football, right? And if you're out there busting your hump, then you're going to start getting some of those calls, and we just weren't doing that enough. The other thing that we said we need to do is what Denver did, which is spread that defense out a little bit, go into some more multi-wide receiver sets, make those linebackers declare if they were in 3-4. Now, the Patriots threw us a curve. They came out in a 4-3. Belichick, because he knows what he's doing, and his staff, I don't know his defensive coordinators or the other staff members, but they knew they had an athletic quarterback. We thought if we could spread the defense out, leverage Josh Johnson's legs, right, get him out of the pocket, and if there's no play to make a play with your feet. They decided to go 4-3. They still threw in their 3-4 from time to time, but 4-3, their ends got upfield, kept contained, forced Josh Johnson, when he wanted to break the pocket up, and Vince Wilfork is a man-child and completely owned our center of the line, the center guard combo. We weren't able to really contain Vince Wilfork. Tully Banta-Cain had a great game as well. Brady did a Brady day, 300 yards, two TDs, I think, or 3 TDs, and 2 picks. The 2 picks were atypical. The first one, Tenard Jackson makes a great play in the back of the end zone. If there are bright spots for a Bucs fan, a bright spot is that Tenard Jackson's playing good football. He's playing football like he did his first year. His instinctual play is starting to come back. It's going to bite you from time to time, and it almost bit him on the second interception. They go play action. Tenard bites up from his safety position way too far, which leaves the receiver wide open. I believe it was Rondé Barber trailing that play, but Aqib Talib, one of the other few bright spots. The original play was supposed to go to the left-hand side. He sees that the play's not going there. He sees that Tom Brady looks downfield and ends up going all the way across the field from the left-hand side of the field and making a play almost like he's a safety. It was a tremendous individual play, a tremendous decision on his part. And like I said, Aqib Talib, Randy Moss ended up with 69 yards. They didn't have to throw the ball to Randy, to be honest. Wes Welker got 107 yards, 10 targets, 10 catches. The thing we knew coming in, Tom Brady will take the checkdowns and the drag routes if you let him, so we have to defend that. We didn't defend. We went with our same man coverage for most of the game. We didn't do anything with our linebackers creative to create problems in the passing lanes. We didn't try and roll any coverage to confuse Tom Brady. Unlike the Patriots on the first pick, they show an open slot receiver. Josh makes the read, sees the slot receiver open. He's late with the delivery. The corner, or I can't remember if it was the corner or safety, I don't know their roster well enough, makes his play. He baited him into that play, right? That was just a really heady play by the Patriots defense. Whether that was coaching or individual performance, doesn't matter. It looks to me like it was tape-driven. They saw that Josh will make those reads, and he was late with the pass. So the receivers for the Patriots, great game. Welker, Moss, old boy Ben Watson got a chance to be one-on-one with Geno Hayes, and Geno Hayes wasn't even in the same area code. Defensively, again, no pressure, no adjustments. Jim Bates, you're going to have to stop trying to force these guys to fit your system. You're going to have to adjust your system to fit these guys. Our defensive tackles were non-existent this week, which was pathetic. Jimmy Wilkerson had a pretty decent game. Tim Crowder had a pretty decent game. I thought Michael Bennett, new acquisition, number 71, had a pretty decent game as well. Josh Johnson did not have a good game. He took steps back in this game and was pulled. Josh Freeman did make his first appearance as a Buccaneer. A couple series, nothing interesting really. I mean, he was kind of thrown to the wolves at the end there. It doesn't mean much, but I do expect to see Josh Freeman as your starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when Green Bay comes to Tampa. I don't think that the front office is going to allow the Bucs to go back to Josh Johnson, which I think is sad. I think Josh Johnson's a good kid. I think he's smart. I think he's got a lot of the intangibles. He just is not going to be able to beat the fact that Josh Freeman is the number 1 pick, unless something just horrific happens in practice. That phone call on the sideline that Raheem Morris took in his press conference, he claims he was calling up to let Mark know that he wanted to go to 5. I wasn't on the call, God knows, but I don't get the feeling that decisions go up in this organization. It seems like they come down. So, as a Bucs fan, not a lot you can pull from this. I think that our running backs are still the strength of this team. We ran the ball well when we chose to run. I don't understand why we didn't run the ball more, other than the fact that we once again got behind 14-0 relatively quickly. So, as a Bucs fan, we're sitting here over, along with the Rams and the Titans. We've got Green Bay at home in the throwback game after our bye week. A tough squad, not going to be easy. I think if you look at our schedule, the only bright spots or chances we see, excuse me, Carolina at Carolina, maybe Seattle at Seattle, even though it's really hard to play out there. But God knows we've got to get a win somehow. So hopefully the throwbacks will change something, and we'll have some more exciting news to report. But we'll do some more reporting in the off time here, just to keep you guys abreast, as Raheem would say, about what's going on and changes on the team. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you rate it. Hopefully you guys like the review. And make sure you come over to whatthebuck.net on Mondays and Thursdays for the live show. Thanks.